What is up, fire signs? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, how are you all doing? I got a little spur of the moment idea here tonight. I don't have the energy to do an all signs tonight, so I'm breaking this up by the element. But since I've done all the other situations for all the zodiac signs, now we got to look and see what's going on in the current relationship. So I'm going to be a little bit generous with this. Normally when I say the current person, I say current long-term relationship, but it doesn't have to be. Just if you are currently in a relationship, whether it's new or you've been together for 10 years. So this is one mini reading for each fire sign, one for Aries, one for Leo, and one for Sagittarius. If you all need a personal reading, all the information on how to go about doing that is in the description of this video. One more day, y'all. One more day. Tomorrow, Sunday, November the 30th, is the last day our Black Friday sale is running. Last day. December 1st, all the prices go back to normal. And especially the Zoom calls. We don't mess with the price of the Zoom calls at all. November is the only time where we do that. So you can read up on all the sales I have to offer on my website, tarotwithrich.com. Tomorrow is the last day. All right, Aries. I honestly don't really know how I'm going to lay this out. I didn't think about it. I'm just sitting here like, man, what am I going to read tonight? I got to get something done because tomorrow's my day off. Let's see if they're being faithful. But I haven't thought about what intention I'm going to put into it. I guess let's just look at this person's feelings, energies, and intentions. Well, I just want to see what kind of person they are in general. Like, generally speaking, is this a respectable person of dignity and integrity? Or is this a sneaky, deceitful little shitbag? Person Aries is dealing with. What's their energy look like? Death reverse. If you are dealing with somebody you just recently got with, I do think that they are still holding on to some past energy. Devil card. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Wow. So let me see how I'm going to divide this up. I wasn't thinking I was going to have to do this, but it is looking like, at least for this one here, I'm going to have to separate it between whether you're in a new relationship or a long-term. For those of you in a new relationship, there's all kinds of past energy here. If you're with somebody you just recently connected with and just recently got with, I do think that they are still hanging on to their ex. I think so. I think so. If you suspect that this person might still have a little thing going on with their ex, I highly suspect it. But if this is a long-term relationship, I do think that this person is starting to entertain the idea of whether or not the grass is greener on the other side somewhere. And obviously, that involves a sexual connection. This energy right here doesn't indicate that infidelity is actively happening right now in the current moment. But with this energy, and this energy, and this energy, and this energy, this looks like somebody who would if they could. To me, the way I see it, that's all that really fucking matters. To me. I'm just saying the way I look at it. I don't want to just know whether or not you have cheated or if you are cheating. Would you, if you could? This is why I never understand those relationships where people try to control their partner, you know? They try to get in there and tell them who they can and can't talk to and where they can and can't go. And, they're always going through their phone. So let me get this straight. You believe that if you didn't control your partner, they would go off and cheat on you. You can rest your head on your pillow and sleep all night long, knowing that the only reason your partner isn't cheating on you is because you won't allow it and you're in there preventing it. That's you. You want that person in your life? Everybody sees it differently. I don't want nobody in my life like that. I don't want to have to tell you where you can and can't go, who you can and can't talk to. I want to know in my fucking heart that I can let you go do whatever you want, and I'm solid. I can trust you, right? If I have to go through your phone and tell you who you can and can't talk to, I don't want you in my life. I don't want you in my life. I want somebody in my life that knows how to respect a relationship on their own without being told. I want somebody who's automatically going to treat me the way I would want to be treated. That's just me. This right chair, that right there, doesn't look like somebody who would pass on an opportunity if it was presented to them. Doesn't look like it. Could be a Capricorn for some of you. Also have Taurus and Scorpio. But it could be anybody. Those are just energies. All right. But I guess let's get advice. I don't know what the hell else to read. What advice do we have for Aries? What advice do we have? Queen of Wands reversed. Shit. Well, this feeling has got to go. So remember, when I read a current relationship, if you're not dealing with a situation in which you have trust issues for whatever reason, this is not for you. So something prompted you to come to me and see this video. Something did. Something. And let's face it, when you have to come to me, that means there's a problem, right? Sometimes people say, oh, that's not true. I'm just curious. Well, I got news for you. That's a fucking problem. If you have a little voice of doubt in the back of your mind that's loud enough to talk you into coming and consulting me, then that voice of doubt is loud enough to eventually sabotage your relationship, even if there's nothing going on. There should not be a voice of doubt in the back of your mind. Whatever it was that prompted you to come to this video to see if you could trust your partner, that energy has got to go. And I got news for you. It doesn't matter why that energy is there. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Let's think, okay, whenever you have trust issues with somebody, it's one of three reasons. Only three. Either A, you're intuitively picking up on something that is off about that person. B, you're just projecting your own insecurities onto them because you have fucking healing that you need to do. Or C, we're growing apart and we're becoming such a vibrational mismatch that the two of you aren't even capable of connecting at a deep enough level anymore. So you can't even pick up what they're putting down, even if they have the best intentions in the world. Which one of those is the best scenario? Which one of them? Which one of them is most likely to survive? None of them. None of them. This is why when you come to me and ask me, is this person cheating? I will send you on your way telling you that at the end of the day, even if I tell you they're not, that's not going to change anything. Whatever uncertainty or lack of trust prompted you to come to me. That energy needs to be cleared, even if they're not cheating. Because even if I tell you they're not, that might make you feel good for a little bit. Then you're going to go look for evidence that supports what I told you. If the two of you were connected at a deep enough level, you wouldn't even need to come to me to begin with. So obviously there's an energetic mismatch there. So you're going to have what I told you, and you're going to be looking for evidence that supports it. And the lines are going to cross. If you weren't able to pick up on their intention to begin with, you're not going to be able to pick up on it after I tell you that. So it could make you even more frustrated. I wouldn't let it string on much longer than a month or two. If you can't find it in yourself to completely trust this person, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter why. You might want to ask yourself if this is somebody you want to keep in your life. Okay? All right, Leo. Leo. Let's see this person's feelings, energies, and intentions. What's their energy look like in general? What kind of person are they? Okay. Well, they're very guarded. Very, very guarded. I don't think... Yeah, 7 of Cups reversed. I don't think this person is being unfaithful. I don't think so. This looks to me like someone who is very serious about this connection. But for some reason, whatever issues have been bubbling up between the two of you, the two of you have had such a hard time working through those issues together as a team that now they're really starting to question whether or not moving on from this is the only choice they have. Honestly, too, I think that if this is a long-term relationship, something put a permanent dent in this connection. They're having a hard time feeling a real strong connection with you anymore. If this is a new relationship, I think they're just still a little bit too guarded to want to let you in all that deep. They're having a hard time feeling this connection. They don't want this to come to an end, but they're really up in their head contemplating whether or not maybe moving on from this is the only choice. Maybe this is just never really going to work out successfully. But no, I don't think with the 7 of Cups reversed that this is the type of person that wants to play around and fuck around while they're in a relationship. I don't think so. I don't think so. Could be an Aries for some of you. Also have Cancer, Gemini. You know, it could be anybody. Those are just energies. All right, well, let's get the advice. What's the advice for Aries? Is my picture coming in any clearer? I just got a new phone today. I was working on an old iPhone 13 mini, and now I got the 17 Pro. It looks real clear on this side, but I don't know if that's just the phone or if you all see it that clear. It looks super crystal clear on this side. My old one, the screen was scratched up and, you know, it'd smudge really easy. You know how phones get when they get old. But man, this one looks crystal clear as a fucking glass of ice water, boy. What's the advice for Leo? Well, this is going to be hard for this being a general reading for the masses. Now, if this was a personal reading, I would give you a little bit more specific and nuanced advice. But the two of you are really going to have to connect at a deeper level in this. Going to have to. It's going back to what I was telling Aries a minute ago. Even if this person has the best intentions in the world, If you're not able to connect at a deep enough level to be able to pick up on that, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Do you know a huge contingent of the relationships that fail are relationships that shouldn't have failed? Both people had the best intentions in the world. Neither of them were cheating. They both had good intentions. They both wanted honesty and loyalty and, but if you're not connected at that level to be able to pick up on each other's intentions, and you all don't have a very deep energetic communication relationship or emotional based communication relationship, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So whatever conversation y'all need to have, one thing that typically tends to really help is if you just make the decision to be the bigger person, put your ego aside and open up and be vulnerable first. Honestly. I know it kind of seems a little bit unfair, but if you're following me, you're on a spiritual path and you're at least a little bit aware of energies and frequencies. And when you start becoming conscious and awakened and aware of energy, how to play with energy, how to manifest things, that puts responsibility on your shoulders. Spiritually awakening is no different than growing up and becoming an adult. When you hear the little kids say, I can't wait until I grow up. And the grown-ups are like, oh, yes, you can. But in his mind, the little 6-year-old kid, all he wants to be able to do is eat cookies for dinner and stay up past 9. That's all in his mind. Once he grows up, he can eat cookies when he wants and he can stay up as late as he wants. Well, is that true? Yes, it's true. When he grows up, he will absolutely be able to do that. But there's a whole lot more to it than that. Spiritually awakening is no different. Most of us want to spiritually awaken so that we can figure out how to play with the energies in this matrix to create experiences that are more enjoyable and aligned with our highest good. I can't wait. Once I want to learn how to manifest things, I want to get in touch with the universe so that I can manifest money and my divine life partner. Then all my problems will be solved. Well, can you manifest money and your divine life partner? 100%. But there's a whole lot more that goes into it than that. It's just like growing up and becoming an adult. It doesn't really make life easier. Yes, it's nice to have money and your divine life partner. I'm not saying it's not. But just like the little kid, once he's able to eat cookies whenever he wants and stay up as late as he wants, yeah, you have that luxury, but that's not going to make your life easier because now there's a whole other list of responsibilities. You get the point I'm making, right? So when you start becoming conscious and aware energetically, puts responsibility on your shoulders. If you really want to make a change in the situation, it's going to have to be you that vibrationally adjusts to be able to shift the situation into what you are. You have to be the change. The primary law is the law of vibration. Your vibration has to change before the change will take effect out here. So if you don't want to do that, it's not just going to change. The outside world doesn't change first, and then you feel the way you want to feel. You have to make the change in here first before you can see it out here. So maybe consider being and becoming the change that you want to see. One of two things will happen. Either A, the person you're dealing with will shift vibrations with you so you can ascend up to a higher timeline and manifest a more positive experience and a more positive outcome, or the two of you start separating even further in vibration because they're staying in the same spot and you're evolving and ascending. Then the two of you will separate by way of universal law, and the universe will bring somebody into your life that'll make you look back at them and laugh. So All right. Sagittarius. Let's see this person's feelings, energies, and intentions. Is this person an honest, loyal, respectable person of honesty, decency, and integrity? Or are they a sneaky, deceitful, lying little sack of shit? Judgment. Okay. I don't know what to say about that. 3 shuffles. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Karmic wheel in the upright. Death reversed. Okay. Well, this is a tough one. Because this person is not wanting this relationship to come to an end anytime soon. But at the same time, they're starting to feel like this connection is expired, if that makes sense. It's really, when anywhere in life, it doesn't matter if it's your relationship, your job, a friendship you have with somebody, or just whatever cycle that you're stuck in life. You know how sometimes you get that feeling like it really feels like this has served its purpose? Doesn't really feel like this is serving much of a purpose anymore. When you start getting that feeling, but it's like, I don't want to move on from this, but I really feel like this is coming to a completion. That feeling, I think that's kind of what this person's feeling a little bit. I'm not seeing anything indicating that this person can't be trusted. I'm not seeing that at all. I don't have a devil card. I don't have a 7 of swords, a 5 of swords. I got the magician in the upright. I don't have no king or queen of swords reversed. I don't have any kings or queens reversed. So this spread right here isn't telling me anything that would indicate that this person has shady, shitty, malicious intentions. But they are kind of starting to wonder whether or not this connection has served its purpose. They don't want to abandon it though, And I do think that they do have feelings for you with the Ace of Cups in the upright here. They absolutely do. They're just kind of torn. This just doesn't feel like it did in the beginning, where it really felt like, the universe was really guiding us and we had this amazing future ahead of us, and I had the fire and the desire to work towards it. Now it's just kind of feeling like, is this really going anywhere anymore? Right? Is there even a purpose behind this anymore? So they are kind of contemplating and wondering that. Some of you dealing with a Scorpio. Who else do I got here? That's it. Okay. It could be anybody. All right, well, let's get the advice. Well, I tell you what, I would really monitor and pay attention to the energy of this situation. Because I'm not seeing anything indicating that this needs to come to an end, right? I'm feeling like what this person is picking up on is the fact that you all are just kind of stuck. See, if you want to sustain and cultivate a successful life partnership, it's a constant growth and evolutionary process. Constant. I don't care. Don't care who did what. Don't care who has the most issues they need to work on. Don't care who's the primary antagonist, who's the primary protagonist. Don't care. We both better be evolving spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically together as one. We're growing together as one. If that stops, then we're not making it to the next level together. And then that's when tension starts to build. And it'll build and build and build and build and build and build and build until eventually the only thing that's left to manifest is it crashing and burning. And that's not necessary. So you all definitely need to be able to make it to the next level together. Definitely. You know what I recommend? And this has way more successful results than not. And this is tricky. It's tricky. But if you can take it upon yourself to just focus on you. We need to sit down and have a conversation like grown adults. Right? We're both flawed humans. None of us are perfect. This is the shit that I need to work on. That's the shit that you need to work on. But you know what? I'll go first. You gonna do what you gonna do. I can't make you do nothing, but I can make me do something. And you focus on nothing but your own growth and evolution. Eventually, one of three things is gonna happen. Either A, they're gonna see that. And that's gonna make them feel safe and comfortable to let their guard down, be vulnerable, and grow and evolve as a person along with you. B, it's going to start making them look bad. Because eventually, you keep this going long enough, and it's a slow process. It can take months, years. Eventually, anybody with two brain cells they can rub together and one eyeball they can see out of is going to see that you're changing and growing for the better. And if they're not, eventually it's going to shine a big old fucking light on the fact that you're growing and they're not. So they're like, shit, man, I better get with the program here. This is making me look bad. Or you continue growing. They refuse to. And again, I mentioned this a minute ago. The two of you separate by way of universal law. Because once you shift to a new frequency, the two of you cannot coexist in the same space. People can't seem to wrap their minds around this. In order to coexist with somebody in the same space, you have to be a vibrational match. That's not a metaphor. Okay? In the spiritual community, when we use terms like frequency and vibration, that's not a metaphor. That's not an airy-fairy, fluffy-duffy, artsy-fartsy little metaphor that doesn't really mean anything. No, 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 no. You literally emit an electromagnetic field. It's produced by your heart. It can be measured 10 to 15 feet outside of your body. That electromagnetic field vibrates and oscillates at a specific frequency. The only people who can come into your life and maintain a solid position in your life are people whose vibrational electromagnetic field resonates harmoniously with yours. All right? This isn't Rich Lopp's little theory. This is an immutable universal law. This is stone cold, rock solid science, biology, neuroscience, and quantum physics. Once the two of you become a vibrational mismatch, it's like two magnets with the same poles pushing each other apart. You can't exist in the same space. You cannot. It doesn't work. Try as you may. Just like magnets, two positive ends of the magnet are going to push each other away. See what I'm saying? There's potential here. But sometimes all you can really do is focus on you. Let go of them. Let them do what they want to do. All right? Don't be rude about it. Don't be shitty. Don't be aggressive. Don't be demanding. You do you, boo-boo. I'm letting go of that. I'm focusing on me. You can either grow with me or grow apart from me. It's up to you. All right? All right, y'all. I feel like those were the messages that my fire sign family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is in the description. And tomorrow is the last day of the Black Friday sale. Tomorrow, Sunday, November 30th. Right? After tomorrow, all the prices go back to normal. And the Zoom call prices are going to remain at that price until next November. Unless, of course, like this past year, we cut all the prices down just to make it easier on everybody because the economy's been so fucked up. But as far as running deals and sales and stuff like that, we don't mess with the Zoom calls. We only do that in November, okay? So all the information's in the description. And I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest